Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about the movie As Above So Below. It is one of the best creepiest horror movie I've ever watched. It itself is a masterpiece. Critics usually don't give good rating to this kind of movie, but it's not just a normal jump scare horror movie. It has two concepts. Dante's Inferno, which is the ninth circle of hell, and the Catacombs of Paris, which hold the remains of more than 6 million people in a small part of tunnel. So the movie began with Scarlett Marlowe, a young alchemist who is searching for the Philosopher's Stone, a legendary substance capable of turning base into gold and granting eternal life. After finding the rose key and narrowly escaping a cave collapse in Iran, she travels to Paris where she enlists the help of her ex-boyfriend George and cameraman Benji. They use the rose key to translate the headstone of Nicholas Flamel, who wrote about the Philosopher's Stone. The headstone contains a riddle that leads them to believe that the Philosopher's Stone is hidden 370 feet underneath the street of Paris. Scarlett also enlists the help of a guide named Papillon, whose name was mentioned by a person down in Catacombs. He tells them to go find Papillon. He knows the catacombs' hidden paths. As soon as Scarlett turns around, he disappeared. On the way to find Papillon, Benji sees a weird girl looking at him. And then he saw her again when they found Papillon in the club. Papillon agrees after listening about the treasure. Scarlett, Papillon, his girlfriend Soxy, and their friends Zed and Benji gets ready to go inside the catacombs. George refused to go inside of it because he lost his little brother in a cave like this, and he is afraid of caves. But Scarlett made him go with them. But then suddenly police caught Papillon, and they all ended up getting inside the catacombs. George gets mad at Scarlett because he didn't want to get down the cave and now he can't go back. After going inside the cave, they heard people doing some weird kind of rituals like praying to Saturn or something. Here Benji found the same girl who he saw in the club. Papillon gets to a point at the wall of bones and said that they have to crawl over the bones to get inside, where Scarlett saw a new way to get there and convinces that if they go from there, they can save ours. But Papillon didn't agree to that way, and he said that he knows this catacombs better than anyone. He also mentioned that one of his friend Mole went inside and never came back. So the whole group started to follow Papillon and climb the bones. But Benji got stuck in that place and started to suffer from claustrophobia. This is one of the best and the most disturbing scene of this movie. But somehow Benji got out of that place and the whole tunnel collapsed. They got really shocked when they found out that they are again at the same place from where they started. And now they don't have any choice except going through the way that Papillon didn't want it to go. He warned everyone not to go inside the door, but he had to go inside after getting pressurized by others. Papillon had this habit of doing graffiti of his name on the walls wherever he goes. So when they got inside, they saw the sign of Pap written on the walls. But Papillon said that he never went in there. They all got startled after hearing the telephone bell. But George tells them that there was a time when a telephone company used that area for phone lines. But they all have been removed a long time ago. Soon, George and Papillon realize that this is the same place where the ground was collapsed and many people got killed. As soon as they move further, they come across a piano. George tells them that he also had a piano like this one. He and his brother Danny used to play it. But A4 key was broken. And when he tried to play the piano, the same A4 key didn't work. And George got scared that what is happening and how this piano got down in here. Scarlett again started to hear the phone ringing and got to it. After picking it up, some man said that why didn't she come? Scarlett hung up the phone and then they suddenly saw Papillon's friend Mole, who was missing a long time ago and everyone thought that he was dead. Mole tells them that if they want to get out of that area, then they have to go down. So now it seems like everyone was seeing the things related to them, like George's piano, Scarlett's dad's call, etc. Mole took everyone to a well and dropped a rope, and everyone got down through it, where Benji loses his balance and fell down on his palms and got injured. As they continue going through the well, they found a narrow corridor with an opening in the middle where water flows. Suddenly they heard a very loud noise, making it hard for them to hear. One of their cameras catches the image of a child. At the end of their path, they saw another dead end. Scarlett and George found carving in the stone. They realized that it is an Egyptian tomb. Just like a puzzle, they have to press the right stone to go through it. Using the inscription, they correctly guess the right stone and door opened. The group enters where they found a preserved body. Scarlett saw inscription on the wall which proves that the stone is real. She makes the group turn off the lights. Seeing a light coming from the floor, she discovers underwater chasm. After crossing it, she finds a treasure room and a wall with markings. The rest of the groups came over and overjoyed that they are rich. Scarlett looks at the wall and relates a myth about the birth of the sun. She found the Philosopher's stone and took it out of the wall. She doubted that this artifact is right next to her treasure. Papillon has just broke the door of the treasure room. Scarlett screams that it's a trap, but it was too late. The cave collapsed. The group was alive, but Soxy was injured. They drag her out from the rubble. Scarlett used Philosopher's stone and heal her, which shocks the group. Realizing that Mole has been killed in the cave, they moved on trying to find a new way out. They found a new opening and crawled through it, where they found the inscription that says, "Abandon all hope who enters here," which is supposed to be written on the gate of hell. They had no choice, so they continue going on the same path. After stepping in, they realize it looks the same, but everything is upside down or opposite, and the way they came in is gone completely. They all saw Mole standing. Soxy tried to see if he's okay, but suddenly Mole turns around and grabs her by her throat and bashes her on the ground. The group tried to help her, but soon they realized that she is dead, and Mole suddenly disappeared. Scarlett again tried to use the stone to heal her, but it didn't work. As they move on, the group realizes that everything they are experiencing now is a mirror image of what they have already done, and they are going deeper down into the earth. The group finds another well and started to go down. As Benji's turn came, he heard a noise and started to look around. The girl he saw before appears and attacked him. Benji fell down the hole without his harness and hits the ground and dies. George pulls Scarlett, saying that they need to keep moving. They cross the path of bones. George sees his brother's reflection. Scarlett calmed him down that this isn't real. Crossing the path, they saw a light in the distance, where a car was on fire with a young man inside. Papillon started to scream that it wasn't his fault. Suddenly, an invisible force pulls him towards the car and the car disappeared, leaving his legs sticking out of the ground. Now the group only has Scarlett, George, and Zed. They continue their paths, where they saw a figure and hide behind a corner. They look at the figure as he sits in a chair. He gets up after a minute and looks at them. The three ran and stops on a wall that has stone figures built into it. Suddenly the figures came to life and attacked them. One bites George in the neck. Scarlett and Zed drags him away. She tries to use the stone to heal him, but it didn't work. She realizes that everything is opposite here, so she never had the real stone. Scarlett decided to run back where she found it while Zed was with George. She ran to the wall and put the stone back in its place and starts finding the real stone. She found a gold orbit at the center and started to wipe some dust off and saw her reflection on it. It is not explicitly stated, but this reveals to her that her earlier words, "as I believe the world to be, so it is literal in this mirrored world, that she has the power of the Philosopher's stone." On her way back to George, she saw the hallucination of her dead father hanging. She got close to him and apologized for not picking up the call the night he killed himself. He disappeared and she ran back to George and Zed. Scarlett puts her hand on George's neck and kisses him. When she pulls her hand away, his wounds were healed and he came back to life. The stone figures were still chasing them, so they continue going deeper into the catacombs. They found another well, but it was too deep and they have no harness to go down safely. Scarlett said that they will have to jump. She points out everything they have experienced and deduced if they are actually in a circle of hell. The three held hands and jumped down the hole. They landed bruised and alive. Looking around, they couldn't find any exit and freaks out. Scarlett thinks about the phrase that has defined much of their journey, as above, so below, and figures out there's an exit on the floor. They discover a manhole and climb through and found themselves on the streets of Paris. They cover the manhole and all of them exhales in relief. The final scene is Scarlett's earlier interview with Benji. She said some people think she is going after the Philosopher's Stone for fame and fortune, but it could not be further from the truth. Benji asks if that is what she is really after, where she confirms by saying that she wants the truth. So if we summarize it, the film describes the thought of 9 rings of hell, known as limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. According to Dante's Inferno, below the streets of Paris. The group found tomb filled with treasure, that is greed, as well as Philosopher's Stone. Eventually, Scarlett realizes that the stolen stone itself is a sin. Only by returning it she will find the real Philosopher's Stone. They discover that the stone itself has no power, only fate does, and the only way to get out of the hell is to confess to their sins. At the final level, they find the manhole and jump through the last ring of hell. Give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you'll get the updates of my new upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.